So this is the Coats & Clark Quick Fashions booklet. It has different knitting and crochet patterns inside of it. All of them were using only 2 or 3 skeins of yarn, as it shows on the front of them. The yarn that was being used was Coats & Clark. It was acrylic yarns that were available back in 1968 when this booklet came out. The ones that you can see on here was Coats & Clark Red Heart Sayel 4-ply or Red Heart Knitting Worsted 4-ply. So when I looked up the Sayel, it said that it was a 10-ply and it was 9 wraps per inch. So I didn't necessarily want to make a pattern with an acrylic yarn, especially like, I don't know, I just feel like they would have been, I mean, I saw a picture of the Sayel on Ravelry, and it looked like it might have been soft, but like the acrylic from the 60s just seems like it would have been really plasticky. Some of the other patterns are for 3 skeins, and those are all 2-ply patterns. So those were using Coats & Clark Red Heart Wind Tuck Sport Yarn. I don't know if this one's still around or not. I'm sure that there are still some, but any sport ply that's going to, sport weight that's going to be similar. But all of these patterns are from 1968, and I'm going to go ahead and do one of the 2 skein patterns, but I'm using, instead of acrylic yarn, I went ahead and got some Cascade 220 in an Aran weight, or like a worsted weight. So I will be using one of the 2 skein patterns that are at the front of the book. I'm not sure which one I want to do because all 3 of these and this one here are all with the worsted weight yarns. So I'm going to go ahead and start one of those. This is the yarn that I picked up to make the pattern. It's the Cascade 220 Superwash, and it's in this really pretty pink color. So when I looked up the color is berry pink, very pretty. And when I looked up the measurements on the Red Heart Sayel, I made sure to get a yarn that was roughly the same size. The patterns do ask for either a size 10 or size 13 needles, or both. So they do require some large needles. And I think this is the one that I'm going to do. So it's the 2 skein Petal Cardigan. And it starts with the size 10 needle and then goes up to 13 for the pattern. And then the ribbing again is size 10. The button band is actually knit as you go along, so it's not added, it's knit onto it directly. This is knit from the top down, which is a little weird because all the pattern books that I have from the 90s and 2000s was all like 4-piece work. So it's weird that like most of the sweaters and things in this book are actually knit from the top down. Most of them on straight needles. If it is closed front, then it is in 2 pieces, like a front and a back. But all of the cardigans, for the most part, are knit in the round. So this is the one that we're going to be working on. And we're going to be using, again, the Cascade Yarns 220 Superwash in place of the Red Hearts Coats & Clark Sayel. Okay, so I apologize if the light is not the best in this video. I am at my mom's house recording, and the sun has pretty much set now. So I'm just using the regular light in the room since I don't have my camera stand. So this pattern is driving me a little batty. So I have on my needles, I am past the collar, which is this first column here. And all of this works up, and it makes sense, and it works the way it's supposed to. But as soon as you get to where the yoke is starting on this pattern, the math isn't mathing properly. So at the end of one row, I was supposed to have 73 stitches. And then when I started on the next row, it wasn't working up the way it was supposed to. So then I took them out, took out that row, recounted the row below where the increases were, and then it said it was 74 stitches. So I went back and I took out a stitch, and then I came back, and then it's still not mathing properly. And it is driving me crazy. And I don't know what I did wrong, because it's almost like I need an additional yarn over to keep the count proper, but it's not showing up in the pattern that way. So I am not sure what's going on, but I'm going to keep knitting. If I get too frustrated, I may go on to a different pattern. I might try that one on size 13s. So maybe that one will work out better. I can try this one, which I think is done on 13s as well. So we shall see. But the math is not mathing on this one. So I'll keep trying, see if I can figure it out. If not, then I will go to one of the other ones. Anyways, cheerio. So working on this cardigan, I don't know, because the pattern, which is this one here, if you look at the weave, or the stitches, not the weave, sorry, I was just watching something on weaving. If you look at that, it's pretty tight, yeah? So here's another example on the cover, that one right there. Pretty tight, yeah? So this says that it's supposed to switch from a size 10 to a size 13 needle. But this, let me show you here. And a little loose, little bit loose. So I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of doing the size 13 needles like it says, I'm gonna try just sticking with the 10. I'm not gonna switch it after the neckline, and I'm just gonna do the 10 and see if that's turning out better, because this just seems, it doesn't match the picture that they have, and it doesn't match, like, I don't know, I think it's supposed to be 10 throughout. So I'm gonna go ahead and try using 10 throughout rather than doing the 13s, also because it's making buttonholes, and the buttonhole that's on the size 10 bands, which is the rib and the neckline, is going to be a lot smaller than the size 13 buttonholes. So we're going to go ahead and try that and see if that improves it. So I'm going to start this for a third time to try to get this in order. Okay, this is looking so much better than what it was previously. So I pulled out all of the work that I'd previously done and then restarted it, and this is the result. And just like I thought, and based off of the pictures in the booklet, this is on a 10 only. It did say 13 in the pattern book, but when you compare it to the picture, this is definitely made on a 10 only. So we're going to keep working on this and see how far we can get over the weekend. Okay, the yoke is done. Next up is going to be the split for the sleeves, and then knitting down the body. It is after 12:30 at night, so I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and get to bed and start working again on this tomorrow morning. It is the next day. I am going to be adding some sleeves onto the yoke that I was knitting last night. And the sleeves are added before the body is completed on this project. So you like knit 28 stitches, then you do an arm, and then you knit around the back, and then you do an arm, and then you knit around the front, and then you continue with the body. And then after everything is done, then you sew up the arms. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to start adding in the arms. Okay, so I have the sleeves on, and I am working on the lower body. But this is coming out to, before blocking, some pretty small measurements. So I know it's going to be blocked so that it can open up just a little bit more on the pattern, but this is going to be a pretty small size. Right now the front from here to here is measuring roughly 15 inches, so about a 30-inch around. So at the moment it would be great for a child, but we'll see what happens once it's blocked, how much bigger it gets. But I still am liking the pattern. I think it's a fun knit, and we'll just keep going and see where we get to. The sweater is done, and it turned out a lot smaller than I was expecting it to. Size basically for a child. So once I adjusted and was using the size 10 needles, it was way too small. But based off of the picture from the brochure, it looked like it was supposed to be on the smaller needles. So here we go. This is the finished sweater. Bum-ba-dum. Has these cute little, let's see if you can see them, these little heart buttons that are sewn on. I got one extra just in case whoever ends up with the sweater. I believe it's going to be for my mom's next door neighbor. They have a little girl, and it's going to go to her. And so I gave them an extra button just in case one of them falls off or they lose it. So as you can see, it's done. I'm really proud of the way it came out. And yeah, so that's it. It has a little cardigan front, solid little back, a rib sleeves, cuffs, and collar. And I'm gonna try this again with the larger needles and get a more adult-sized one. It hadn't looked right to me when I made it, so anyways, that is that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the sweater, go ahead and leave them down below. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed everything. And in future, we'll check out some of the other patterns in there. Great, thanks so much, and have a wonderful day.